Welcome into another edition of TinChattin. Obviously, not your normal crew. Mike Maahs here with me. Justin Prince is out. Mike, I get my one time out of the year to come chat it up with you. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. Obviously, the TinCaps looking like a whole different team. They start off, what, 5 for 16 to start the normal season. As of May 14, they've been above 500. Just take me through what you've been seeing, obviously, on this spurt.
Well, we've seen the evolution of a competitive baseball team. You're right. You lose your first 5 games. You go 5 and 16 in the month of April. On May 14th, you wake up and you look in the paper and you say, we're 10 and 22. What's going to happen? You know, mistakes were made. Key hits were not being accomplished. Runs weren't being scored. Bullpen couldn't hold leads, and things looked bleak. And then things started to change. Jonathan Matthews, and he and I get a chance to talk every week during the season on our pregame show. And he has been the one constant source of positive reinforcement. It's going to come. They're going to get going. The weather's going to get better and warmer. When the weather gets warmer, the players are going to be more loose. They're going to get more comfortable, especially the players that are used to the warm weather. Players from Mexico and Colombia and Venezuela and the Dominican Republic and so forth. We get that. We've had a couple of warm stretches where it's reminded them of home, so to speak. And look what's happened.
And they kind of get in that groove. I was actually talking with Marcos Castañon. I think it was after Game 6. I asked him, you know, what's kind of been helping them grow, and he said, hey, we got a lot of SoCal guys, a lot of guys that are used to that warm weather. And I think that kind of played a bigger part of it. He said when it was colder weather, they kind of struggled, and you kind of seen that from them.
The other thing, too, and we equate the weather with starting pitching. It has been forever and a day. We're here in the Midwest, where usually the month of April, there have been some occasions, and I remember one time probably close to, let's see, we're in 2023 now. I'm going to guess it's either 2007 or 2008 was the final game of a series against the Dayton Dragons. And the game had to be delayed an hour because we had to go get people that could shovel snow off the field at Memorial Stadium. Snow, you know, in late April, early May. So the pitchers always, usually there's errors on the side of caution, pitch counts. Sometimes me being an old timer, hate pitch counts. If a guy's going well, let him go. You know, you've got certified trainers that can help keep him healthy. It's just my own opinion now. But usually you start off the year 45 pitches, maybe 50 pitches for starters, gradually building up 60, 70, 80, and usually by 1st of June, if the weather holds out, or 1st and 15th of June, then they can get up to the 90 to 100 mark. And in today's baseball, once you hit 100, the sirens go off and the flags come out and the barricades are set up and you're done for the night.
And it's kind of speaking on their pitching. Obviously, we know their relievers have been struggling a little bit, but they're starting. I think they're 3.29 ERA, third lowest in the Midwest League. And then we obviously had Robbie Snelling. He just got called up, got his first victory in his debut, I think it was last weekend. But just from him, I was talking to them after Game 6, and he's just 19 now. And I asked about his mindset. They say he's like a 19-year-old going on 35. And he's built good, and I think that's kind of the big thing for him coming up from Lake E, kind of that mentality, hey, I'm a young kid, but I'm here to work. I'm here to make my way possibly up to San Antonio.
When Robbie came to Fort Wayne, he usurped Victor Lizarraga as the youngest pitcher in the Midwest League. They're both still teenagers.
Super young.
Robbie Snelling has a little bit of flair about him. He's got confidence like nobody's business. We've seen him at home once. He pitched on the road once. I'm not sure if he's going to be pitching in Great Lakes this weekend. I don't know the rotation yet. But in the 2 starts, you know, he's got a win. He's 1-0, a 2.53 ERA. He's pitched 10 2/3 innings. And he's given up 3 runs earned on 9 hits. He's walked 4. He struck out 9. But he keeps the team in there. The starting pitching has been the hub that's kept things going this year.
100%.
The bullpen has been the Achilles heel,
Yeah.
but the starters have been the hub. The weather is finally gone the way the TinCaps would like it. Therefore, the hits are coming. Back when we were 5-16 in the month of April, we were, I think, second to last in the 12 teams in the Midwest League in team batting. Well, starting this weekend series at Great Lakes, they're tied for second in the league in hitting.
Yeah. Well, first in the league, yeah. Second in hitting, yes.
Yeah. And what a difference. Not just the warmer weather. Hitting can be contagious.
100%. And I think that's the biggest thing.
And you look at the top of the order.
Yeah.
You know, when you had Jackson Merrill, Jacob Marcy, Marcos Castañon, Nathan Martorella. Then you can throw in a Lucas Dunn. When he was here, Brandon Valenzuela.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned that Lucas Dunn and obviously Marcos Castañon have been coming up big for them. Marcos Castañon, obviously, this last series, he came up clutch. I think he had a big hit in Game 1, obviously walked it off in Game 6. And he's kind of been the big guy leading this train the last couple weeks. Obviously, Midwest League Player of the Week, and he's kind of been on the roll so far.
Well, we talked about this before we started taping. Statistically, in the Midwest League, heading into play today and tonight, Castañon tied for second in home runs. He's tied for second in runs scored. He is fifth in batting average. He is first in total bases. He is first in slugging percentage at .491. He is in third in OPS. He is in first in runs batted in.
Yeah.
He is in, let's see, where's the other? Second, or tied for second in extra base hits.
Yeah.
Second in total hits, and fourth in doubles.
Yeah, and I think out of all those stats, second in home runs with 13, he's not a big guy. He's not a giant. He's just 6 foot tall, and he rocks them out of the park.
He does. And we have talked to broadcasters. I've got a chance to talk to them when they come to town. John and Derek get to talk to them when they're on the road. We don't know of any other duo in the Midwest League that is as potent as Marcos Castañon and Nathan Martorella.
Yeah.
They're both tied for second in home runs in the league. We mentioned Castañon leads in RBIs. Martorella is one behind.
Yeah.
And we have talked about it on the air about contrasting in styles. Castañon bats right-handed, uses more of his athletic ability, can go with pitches.
Yeah.
He's got power up the wazoo.
Yeah.
Could go either way. Nathan Martorella is, and I hope I have this word correctly. My wife was the English major. Major
we'll
in the
see.
family.
We'll see.
I want to use the word studious.
Yeah.
He analyzes pitchers before, during, and after at-bats.
Yeah.
And I just marvel watching him in the left-hand batter's box and how he tries to guesstimate what the pitcher is going to throw to him, and he has his plans on how to attack that and have it go his way.
100%.
And it is just a joy to watch those two guys hit back-to-back.
Yeah.
And they've been knocking the Midwest League out the last 6-7 weeks.
Yeah.
And we have to enjoy it for as long as we can.
Yeah.
We also have to take one other hat off to Jonathan Matthews, because his goal, as has been some former TinCap managers, you can't win every game, but you can win every series.
Yeah.
And now we're talking these days with the 6-game series, 4 out of 6.
Yeah.
4 out of 6.
I was going to say they're what, 6-0-2 in their last 8 series.
6-0-2 in the last 8 series.
They're putting them together.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
And it's nice to look at the paper or to listen to you and Justin talk about the success that the team is having on the field. And maybe one of these times, we're not going to talk about the players as much. Maybe we should talk about the behind-the-scenes work and some of the great things. such as Military Appreciation Night, what it was, and so forth. But again, the team is rolling right now. You don't want to mess anything up.
We don't.
And hopefully they'll keep things going.
Yeah. Great Lakes, obviously this week we're back at home, Lake County, for another series. Hopefully the TinCaps keep it going. Mike, it gives me one time out of the year to do TinChattin, and this was my time. Hopefully I'm going to beg him to do one more this year. I don't think it's going to go too well, but we'll see. So that'll do
Bribery can get you most places.
That is true. We're going to try. That'll do it for another edition of TinChattin. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.